This single mother looks out at the spot where 6 years ago she found her teenage daughter lying on the street, unconscious. She says 4 men abducted her 17-year-old daughter when she was heading home from school and raped her.
What those men have done cannot be forgiven. My daughter says, don't spare those men. They destroyed my life. Don't give up, and I won't give up. As long as I live, I will fight this case.
She's still fighting for justice. She says she spent her entire life savings and hired more than half a dozen lawyers, none of whom stuck around, sometimes switching sides and other times dropping her altogether, she says. The judges keep changing too, and the hearings are adjourned regularly.
The judge says I have 586 cases. I have 700 cases. I have to attend to everyone. So I can't do this quickly. Come back in 3 months.
So she waits. The accused, out on bail for years, were recently acquitted by a lower court, which cited insufficient medical evidence. The state has appealed to the High Court, saying the examining doctor tampered with the medical records. The victim's mother says the 4 men belong to wealthy families.
A regular person can never win a rape case. Why? Because no one supports you. The lawyers don't support you. The police don't support you. And even the doctors don't support you. I cried before women's groups. I knocked on every door I could. If the rapists have money and can spend the money, then even if you keep crying for justice, no one is going to listen.
Lawyer and human rights activist Colin Gonzalez says rape cases can take an average of 10 years. And if the accused are wealthy, the victims will almost never win.
They'll threaten her. They'll tell her case is very weak. They will humiliate her. They will run down her case. They will insinuate that she is a woman of loose character. They'll foul up the evidence.
In recent days, though, there's a new sense of hope. A special committee was formed to recommend changes to the existing rape laws. So-called fast-track courts have been set up to hear just cases of rape and sexual assault, and a speedy trial is underway in this most recent high-profile gang rape case. But experts fear this is an exception.
It'll be a sort of a model case for the country to follow. But will the courts in the country follow this example? Will the police follow this kind of trend? And will judgments come quickly to do justice for the rape victims? I don't think it's going to change at all.
Legal experts say India has far too few courts and just 1/5 of the number of judges it ought to have. So it's not unusual for court cases to go on for decades, even generations. But that hasn't deterred this determined woman. Her daughter has married and left the country, leaving the fight for justice in her mother's hands. Samnima Uras, CNN, New Delhi.